Welcome back to the search for Gillian Gold. Last week we began investigating the rumoured Carston Circle. This week we're shifting our focus from ancient rituals to the very real influence this group might hold over the town of Carston. And we're taking a closer look at the official investigation into Gillian's disappearance. Instead of focusing on supernatural rituals, our investigation has revealed that the Carston Circle seems to be composed of prominent figures in the town. They hold positions of power in local businesses, the town council, and even the police force.
They're the ones who run things. They always have. If you want something done in Carston, you go to them.
It seems their influence isn't just about conjuring spirits, but more about controlling the flow of information and resources. We're starting to think that the stories of rituals could be a smokescreen. We obtained a copy of the official police report, and it raises some serious concerns. The investigation into Gillian's disappearance appears to have been remarkably superficial. Key leads were seemingly ignored, and crucial evidence wasn't followed up on. For example, the report states that Gillian's car was found near the Blackwood Observatory, but there's little mention of a thorough forensic examination of the vehicle. Were fingerprints taken? Was the car searched for any signs of a struggle? The report is strangely vague.
They're protecting their own. Don't dig too deep, or you might disappear too.
We spoke to Sergeant Miller, the lead investigator on the case, but his responses were evasive and dismissive. He insisted that there was no evidence of foul play, and that Gillian left the town on her own accord.
We conducted a thorough investigation. There's nothing to suggest anything other than a missing person case. Gillian Gold was an elusive character. All of the evidence suggests that she left the town of Carston on her own accord.
I continued by asking Sergeant Miller about the car, and why, if Gillian had left Carston, she would have left the car behind.
The car you were talking about was a hire car. In fact, when we investigated into the car, it had been hired under another name, not the name of Gillian Gold.
This again contradicts some recent evidence that we've been supplied with. A local shopkeeper called Mrs. Henderson came forward with a witness account that contradicts the official narrative.
I saw Gillian the day she disappeared. She was talking to a man outside my shop. He was tall, wearing a dark coat, and he had thick-rimmed glasses. They seemed to be having a serious conversation. I didn't recognise him, and I've lived in Carston my whole life. After around 5 minutes or so, the man in question left walking away towards the church end of town. I then saw Gillian get into a blue small car. I think it was an electric car. I remember thinking how quiet it was when it passed me.
The small blue car in question is the exact car that was found below the observatory. Mrs. Henderson provided a detailed description of the man, but the police report makes no mention of this witness or the man she described. It seems this potentially vital lead was completely ignored. We've asked Mrs. Henderson whether she would complete a photo fit with us, of which she has agreed. Who was the man in the glasses, and why was he talking to Gillian? And why was the car that Gillian was driving not in her name? We also spoke with Mr. Evans, the owner of an Airbnb where Gillian stayed. He contacted us stating he'd found some of Gillian's belongings after the police had finished their search. He was concerned by the lack of detail in the police report and felt we should have these items. He passed to us Gillian's laptop, which was listed as missing and was found tucked away in a drawer beneath the bed. There were also several handwritten notes, unrelated to her main research. One note read, "They're watching me. I can feel it." Another read, "Don't trust anyone." Mr. Evans also mentioned that the state of the Airbnb was concerning after Gillian's disappearance. He stated it was unusually clean, almost sterile, as if someone had gone to great lengths to remove any trace of Gillian's presence. There was a faint, almost imperceptible scent of cleaning chemicals, and some of the furniture seemed to have been rearranged. There is also the fact that Gillian, at the time of her disappearance, still had over a week left to stay at the Airbnb, yet none of this was mentioned or investigated by the police at the time. Gillian's notes are filled with details about the Carston Circle, detailing their intricate web of influence. She had meticulously mapped out their connections, names, addresses, business affiliations, and even social connections. She had notes about land development deals, local planning changes, and contracts that seemed to favour certain members of the Circle. She wrote about how the Circle controlled the flow of information, how they used the local media to shape public opinion and silent dissent. She had a list of names with annotations next to each, such as Town Council, Vote Control, Police Liaison, Possible Influence, and Blackwood Construction, Lucrative Contracts. She even had a diagram, a crude but detailed flowchart showing how the Carston Circle members were connected. There were lines of influence radiating out from the centre, these occupied by a name that was heavily circled and underlined. We're starting to see that the lights might be some kind of technology, not something from another dimension, but something made here on Earth, something that can be controlled. Next time we'll delve deeper into the Carston Circle's influence. We'll explore their connections to local businesses and the police force. We'll also examine the possibility that the Carston lights are a form of advanced technology used to manipulate the town's residents. We'll also be trying to identify the man in glasses and the persons whose name was at the centre of Gillian's diagram. Join us next time on the search for Gillian Gold. The truth may be closer than we think, hidden in the shadows of human ambition and deception, protected by those in power. Search for Gillian Gold is written and presented by Stuart Wheeldon. The theme music is UFO Experimental by Bruno Magic. Welcome back to episode 5, The Search for Gillian Gold. Last time we uncovered the shocking negligence of the police investigation and received crucial items from Gillian's Airbnb owner. This week we're delving deep into the Carston Circle's web of influence, and we've made a breakthrough in identifying the man with glasses. We've spent countless hours examining Gillian's laptop. While the police claimed it was missing, Mr. Evans, the Airbnb owner, found it hidden away. Gillian had password protected the device, but our tech expert Lena has managed to bypass the security.
We're in. There's a lot of data here. Gillian was meticulous. She kept detailed records of everything.
Gillian's laptop reveals a treasure trove of information about the Carston Circle. We've found emails, documents, and even audio recordings that painted a very disturbing picture of their control over the town.
Remember, our control depends on their fear. The lights are our greatest asset. They see what they want to see, or rather, what we let them see. Unpredictable, mysterious, and just a little bit frightening. We keep them guessing. We keep them looking up, not looking too closely at what we're doing down here. Let them whisper about aliens. Let them talk about ancient curses. The more they speculate, the less they scrutinize. We control the narrative, we control their perception, and we control Carston. And if anyone starts to ask too many questions, well, we have ways of discouraging them.
This extended audio clip, among others, suggests that the Carston Circle is deliberately using the lights to manipulate the townspeople. They are creating an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty, which allows them to maintain their power. They are actively using misinformation. We've also found documents detailing the Carston Circle's financial dealings. They seem to be involved in various lucrative projects, including land development, construction contracts, and even the local power grid. These projects often benefit members of the Circle, while bypassing standard regulations and procedures. Within these documents are 3 audio clips that shed light on their dealings.
The zoning change for the Blackwood land is crucial. Once we have that, we can move forward with the development.
The contract for the power grid upgrade is a done deal. We're not entertaining other bids. Consider this a friendly reminder.
The funds have been transferred. Discretion is paramount. Any differences will be dealt with accordingly.
This all suggests that the Carston Circle is manipulating local zoning laws to benefit their own projects, likely at the expense of the community. With the second clip, it reveals their control over lucrative contracts, using intimidation to ensure they get what they want. And in the final clip, it suggests that the Carston Circle is involved in financial wrongdoings, possibly involving money laundering or other illicit activities.
They get all the big contracts. Nobody else stands a chance. And if you ask too many questions, you might find yourself out of a job.
Gillian's notes detail how the Carston Circle controls the local police. She has records of payments, favours, and even blackmail that suggest a deep-seated corruption within the force. This explains the lack of thoroughness in her disappearance investigation. Her notes contain specific examples, entries detailing cash payments made to Sergeant Miller, marked discretion fee, emails showing a local judge, a known Circle member, influencing case assignments. There are also photographs of a councilman, also a Circle member. There he's at a private party with several officers, engaging in activities that could be considered compromising. She also has notes on how some of the officers are related to members of the Circle, creating a web of family-related ties. This alone makes objective policing impossible. One note even reads, "Blackwood Land Incident, records altered." This indicates that the police are not just negligent, they are also actively involved in covering up the Circle's activities. Even more damning, Gillian unearthed witness statements about the Carston lights, statements that were completely disregarded by the police. She had copies of handwritten accounts from several residents describing their encounters with the lights, including detailed descriptions of their movements, colours and their behaviour. One statement from a retired schoolteacher described how the lights seemed to follow her car one night, changing direction and speed in response to her own movements. Another statement from a local farmer described how the lights hovered over his livestock, causing them to become agitated and panicked. These statements were filed away, marked unreliable and dismissed. This shows that the police are not just ignoring evidence related to Gillian's disappearance, but are also actively suppressing information about the Carston lights. We've also started to analyse the handwritten notes we received from Mr. Evans. Gillian's paranoia seems to have escalated in the days leading up to her disappearance. She wrote about feeling watched, about not trusting anyone. One note in particular stands out. The man with glasses. He knows something. He's not who he seems.
He was tall, wearing a dark coat, and he had thick-rimmed glasses. They seemed to be having a serious conversation.
We're convinced that the man Mrs. Henderson saw Gillian talking to is crucial to this investigation. Using Mrs. Henderson's description, we've created a photo fit of the man with glasses and circulated it around Carston. And we've had a hit.
Aye, that's him. Came in here a few nights before she went missing. Sat in the corner, quiet like. Ordered a pint, then just stared out the window. Seemed nervous, kept looking over his shoulder. Then he got up, left half his drink and walked out.
This sighting places a man with glasses in Carston just days before Gillian's disappearance. We're now actively working on identifying this man. We're also focusing on the name at the centre of Gillian's diagram. Lena has also started to analyse the data related to the Carston lights. She's found patterns in their appearances, suggesting they are not just random. They seem to be concentrated around specific locations, including the Blackwood Observatory and the old stones on the moor. She's also discovered that the lights emit a unique frequency, a frequency that matches a hum we've been hearing in the background in Carston. We are now operating under the theory that the lights are a form of advanced technology, controlled by the Carston Circle. They are using them to manipulate the townspeople and maintain their power. But what is the purpose of this technology? And what happened to Gillian? Join us next time, where we'll delve deeper into the technology behind the Carston lights, and we'll be trying to identify the man with glasses and the person whose name was at the centre of Gillian's diagram. We'll also be exploring the specific locations where the lights are concentrated, searching for clues that might lead us to Gillian. The Search for Gillian Gold is written and presented by Stuart Wheeldon. Theme music is UFO Experimental by Bruno Magic. Welcome back to the search for Gillian Gold. The revelations from our bonus episode have plunged us into a terrifying new reality. We're no longer just investigating a missing person, we're confronting the possibility of an alien presence manipulating the very fabric of Carston. The Carston Circle, once seen as the town's puppet masters, now appear to be the puppets themselves, controlled by the forces beyond our comprehension. Lena's analysis of the Carston lights continues to yield disturbing results. The energy signatures defy known physics. The frequency shifts are erratic and complex, and the movements are impossible for any known human technology. We're dealing with something alien, something that transcends our understanding of the universe.
The data, it's like a language, but not one we can decipher. It's not just signals, it's information. Complex, multi-layered data streams. We're intercepting something, but we don't know what it means. It's like trying to understand a symphony by listening to individual notes.
The question now is no longer just what happened to Gillian, but what is the alien agenda? Are they observing us, experimenting on us, preparing us for something? And what is the role of the man with the glasses in the grand cosmic scheme?
He wasn't alone. There was something behind him. Something I couldn't quite see. Something that wasn't there. But I felt it. I felt its presence. It was cold, metallic, and it was watching me. Through him, I saw it in his eyes.
The man with glasses, we believe, is a conduit, a vessel for the alien presence. We are now working to identify him, not just through traditional means, but through any means necessary. We are searching for patterns, for anomalies, for anything that might connect him to the alien presence. Gillian's notes on the police reveal a pattern of suppression and fear that goes beyond simple corruption. They are not just covering up, they are terrified. They are acting on orders that come from the unseen hand, the alien presence that controls Carston. We are also focused on the person whose name was heavily circled and underlined in Gillian's notes. We now believe this person is a human point of contact, the one who communicates directly with the alien presence. We are searching for any trace of this individual, any clue that might reveal their identity. The Carston lights are not just a local phenomenon. They are a beacon, a portal, a means of observation and control. The alien presence is here among us. They are watching us, studying us, perhaps even preparing us for something unimaginable. We've also received a chilling account from Mr. Finch, the Carston resident who claims to have been abducted. His account is fragmented, disturbing, and deeply unsettling.
It was late. I was driving home, and the lights, they were everywhere. They surrounded my car, and then everything went black. I woke up later, disoriented. In a field, I had these marks on my arms, strange symbols. They were cold, raised, like they were burned into my skin. I don't remember anything, just flashes of cold metal, bright lights, and beings that weren't human, tall, thin, with large dark eyes. They looked at me like I was an animal in a cage, and then I was back in my car. I don't know how long I was gone. I don't know what they did to me. I just know they're here. They're watching us. They're waiting.
Mr. Finch's account is a chilling reminder of the alien presence in Carston, but it's the symbols on his arms that are truly unsettling. We've analysed the symbols on Mr. Finch's arms, and they're not random. They're geometric, complex. They're not known from any language or symbol system, but they match patterns in the frequency shifts of the Carston lights. It's as if they're a physical manifestation of the alien communication. This connection between the symbols and the lights is a terrifying confirmation of the alien presence. The people of Carston are not just being observed, they are being marked, changed, perhaps even transformed. We've also received a crucial piece of information about the man with glasses. A witness who wishes to remain anonymous has come forward with a disturbing account.
He stayed at my Airbnb. He was unsettling. Quiet, but always watching. He never went out during the day, only at night. He had these strange devices with him, like scanners. And he was always looking up at the sky. He paid in cash and he didn't leave a name, but I found a receipt he left behind. A name. Stephen Thorne.
Stephen Thorne. We now have a name. We are actively working to trace this individual to understand his connection to the alien presence and to uncover his role in Gillian's disappearance. In the next episode, we will delve deeper into the alien enigma, exploring the possibility of extraterrestrial contact and the Carston Circle's role in this cosmic conspiracy. We'll also be trying to identify Stephen Thorne and the point of contact. And we will be trying to understand the alien agenda. The truth is far stranger and far more unsettling than we ever imagined. The Search for Gillian Gold is written and presented by Stuart Wheeldon. The theme music is UFO Experimental by Bruno Magic.